if you've been asking yourself, I just really want to live in my soul's highest calling. I think I know what that is, or maybe I want to know what that is so I can move in divine purpose, then this is for you. Hi. If you're new to me, my name is Raquel, and I'm your GPS for success. I'm doing this series specifically for Jesus lovers, but even if you're not, hang tight because everything I'm telling you, you can still use. And how you can really reconcile some of these manifestation practices that are out there, and because sometimes we don't know, right? What's good for us, what's not good for us, according to our worldview, what's allowed or disallowed, and why. And so I'm bringing some of these practices here, aligning them, and showing you where they are in the Word. So today we're going through this soul highest calling phraseology, and a lot of times I do life and business coaching, and when I have clients who have come to me, and this is from personal experience and some of the things that I've seen online, the reason they're saying that is because they really want to monetize the reason for being. They are dissatisfied with their life, they're dissatisfied with their work, and they're like, there has to be something better than this. And really, when you think about it, that is the gift of millennials. I have some of my, actually, almost all my higher paying clients are millennials. And the gift of a millennial is that they have, one of the things that I've recognized is that they have come to disrupt how we do work and really pushing for this work-life balance. I'm a Gen Xer, I'm 50 years old. And so, I've been working since I was, like 13 years old, almost nonstop since I was 13 years old. And we have this, badge of honor, like we're Gen Xers and we're like really the last greatest generation, and all these changes that we went through. And we, basically we sound like we're orphans because we say how we've done all these things and we had to parent ourselves. I mean, we're like a badge of honor. There's nothing to be honored. It's not honorable. We had to go and do that. And did that give us a tough skin? Yes. Did that make us more innovative in some ways because we had to learn some things on our own and we were left to our own devices a lot? Yes. And so there's a lot of good that came out of that. But on the other side of that, what happens is that became part of our identity, because of that, part of our belief system. And then I know people who are either Gen Xers or boomers who have a really hard time connecting with millennials because they see them as maybe they're lazy. They're not lazy. They're here to remind us that we are created to monetize our reason for being. How do I know that? Because there's a scripture that talks about that work is a gift from God. Work actually is a gift. Work is not a dirty 4-letter word. Work is a gift from God. And so how is that gift going to come out? The work is there in order to pull out from you those gifts and talents that he gave you. Some of them you might be aware of. Some of them, it's like coal, right? It's diamonds, but you need a little bit of the right kind of positive stress in order for it to become that diamond, to be excavated out of you, to turn really from one thing into the other. It's hidden in you. And the only way it's going to come out is that when there is a demand on it. And so what the millennials are teaching us, really, if you're actually watching what's happening and their language and their desires, is having this work-life balance. And so they're really calling us back to alignment, monetizing our reason for being able to do what you love and get paid well for it. That's actually biblical. It's a biblical thing to do what you love, what you're created for, and get paid well for it, because that is a blessing. That is the grace of God. That is the mercy of God. Everyone is made with a purpose for a purpose. And you may not know, like things change and they evolve, and maybe you don't know what your purpose is, and that's fine. But what are you being called to in this season? And so when people are talking about aligning to their soul's highest calling, a lot of times it's just because they're dissatisfied with the way things are. But it is this holy call of more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more. In these kind of spaces, people talk about the universe, that it's ever expanding. Yes, and we are created to continue to expand. We are created not to be stagnant. We are created to be producers, to be innovators. All of us are, whether you're a Jesus lover or not, because we're made in the image and likeness of God. And so we are all image bearers. And as image bearers, there's call that like, yeah, I want this life to be a little bit juicier. Now there's different ways where you can go ahead and tap into those kind of things. I will be doing a guided meditation for you guys. I do them a little bit differently than other people, but I was going to show you my phone. One of the ways that you can start, if you don't know, is I got this book a long time ago called Ikigai. And I think I have to look for it. If I find it, it'll be in the description. But I remember doing this training on monetizing your reason for being. And if it's public, because I did it a while ago, but it's still relevant, I will put it down for you in the description box. But this is a really great way for you to start. I don't know. Can you see it? I think it's backwards. But it takes you through the process of what you love, your passion, your mission, what you're good at, your profession or your vocation, what you can be paid for, and what the world needs in your mission. Now, this is, like I said, it's a great place to start because it's good for you to slow down and put pen to paper. And that's how I started as well. But as a Jesus lover, sometimes those things don't work for us, because it's a good place to start so we can see and start to put things together in the way I put it in this old training. You'll see what I mean. But the last piece was what you can be paid for. You can be paid for anything. So that's the rub, is that this is an amazing system to start with. But then the advice out there is, what are people paying for? What are people willing to pay for? They're willing to pay you for whatever you want to put out there. You might have heard of a girl selling her farts. Another young lady who sold her bath water. I think she made like $90,000 selling her bath water. And you're like, I don't know if I can get paid for this. Somebody was selling her farts. Really? She doesn't do it anymore. She got sick doing that. But I'm just saying, pet rocks. Remember Gen Xers? You were kicking like, how do I have that $1 million idea? You can't really go by what the market is buying, what the market is buying, what they're willing to pay for it, what they're paying for now, because the market doesn't know. The market doesn't really know until you show up. So that is the caveat. This is a great place to start to recognize how you are built. And this is why it's really important to understand your personality gift clusters, your gifts, your talents, and being able to have discernment of what God is saying to you. Part of what God is showing you is through your desires. One of them actually is what pisses you off. What makes you angry. One of the things that makes me angry and makes me very, very sad is when people are not living to their highest potential. And so because of that drive, right, that emotional fire there, this is why I do the things that I do. Even in what I'm doing right now, a lot of times I will get the ideas and the market catches up to the idea I had like 18 months to 2 years later. So does the market, what they're willing to pay for, you might be one who is an innovator. And so if you're called to be an innovator, in the church, they might call that like an apostle, right? So you're a pioneer, you're going first. If you're first to the market about an idea, they didn't even know that they needed it until you brought it to them. So it's really about connecting to, getting the solution and then presenting the idea. So when you're thinking about connecting to your soul's highest calling, think about why are you really dissatisfied? Sometimes you were just like, I want to work for myself. I don't like this job. I want to be an entrepreneur. And then when you're not being an entrepreneur is the same as having money. Money is a magnifier. That's all it is. It will magnify how you really feel and see yourself. It will magnify all your belief systems. Entrepreneurship is the same. And if you are dissatisfied in your job now, and if you don't set the right tone, perception, expectation, foundation of the right mindset for entrepreneurship, you might be able to live off that high a little bit for a little while, but then you'll be running on fumes and you'll be like, maybe I should quit. No, you shouldn't quit. You just have to change your mind about it. There is a way for you to monetize your reason for being. So it's one thing to say, well, it seems like the market is schizophrenic. On one hand, they're telling you need to see if there's anybody who will want it. On the other hand, they're telling you just show up and be yourself. Which is it? It was a combination of both, but then we have the cheat code. What is God leading you to do? Because a lot of times what happens is that we ask God, well, I want to live in my purpose. And then he gives you an idea. And then you're like, yeah, but not that. I don't do that. That's a silly idea. That's a stupid idea. No. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time, the way God is going to answer that, what is my purpose? What's my soul's highest calling? What do you want me to do? How do I monetize my reason for being? The answer is there. I mentioned this before, one of our favorite scriptures, right? God is doing anything. Can you not perceive it? He makes ways for you in the wilderness and the waters in the desert. The way is already there. The water is already there, but you're not perceiving it. It is not it's not really a not knowing problem. It's a perception problem. You think that there's a problem and that's why there's a block. I have this money block. I'm stuck. You're actually not. You think you're stuck, and so your brain makes you right. You think that you have a money block, and so you create the blocks by not. But even if grace comes in, when grace comes in and gives you the idea, you poo-poo it. We're going to shift that. You want to be in the place. Why do you want to be in the place where you are monetizing your reason for being, when you are in your design's alignment? Because that's actually where your provision is. And not only for money, for everything else. Because you're going to be happier, because you're going to be excited, because you're going to be in joy. You're going to meet amazing, incredible people. You're going to change people's lives. You get to change people's lives. But I just really want to do some digital content. How is that changing anyone's life? You're relieving a pain point for them. You're allowing them to have some work-life balance, because now they don't have to do something that really they don't have any joy in doing. They'd rather outsource it to somebody who has a good eye. What you're designed to do matters. It matters. So let's tap into that today. I'm going to do a guided meditation. It's almost like getting into self-hypnosis. I'm going to give you some directions. And it's a combination of things that I've learned about the subconscious mind, your heart, and your community of cells. So your community of cells, I call it that. I learned that phrase from Lipton. Bruce Lipton, I think is his name. Bruce Lipton. And he was talking about how your cells, right, they're independent, but then they give up their independence to come into community, and that they get their direction from the voice of the mind. Your heart, what you know about the heart is not incorrect, it's incomplete most of the time, and inside the church and out. And your heart is part soul, part heart, part spirit. Spirit is who you are. Soul is your mind, your will, and your emotions. So a lot of times you're like, my soul's highest calling, where your soul is always in flux, because it's your mind, your mindset in the moment, your will, your willingness to do something, and your emotions. Your emotions are dictated by your thoughts. And then you have your subconscious, which is running more than about 95% or more of your automatic actions. Your subconscious also takes direction from the voice of the mind. For those of us who are Jesus lovers, we have the cheat code, the mind of Christ. So when I do these quick guided meditations, this is going to run a little longer just because I want to do one with you. That's the way I phrase it, from the Christ mind. When I have you close your eyes, I'm going to have you close your eyes and then look up in between your eyebrows. And that is helping you get into self-hypnosis. Self-hypnosis is, as I said, I think in the first day or the second, and I think I mentioned in the third, hypnosis is the way your brain loves, because you go into theta. You were in record mode from the ages of 0 to 7. And so it's one of the easiest and fastest way for you to reprogram your mind. Everything's just a program running. It's just a story that you're telling yourself. So if you're telling yourself you're stuck, you actually create more stuckness. If you feel like I'm dissatisfied and it's better off for me to be an entrepreneur, that might be right. But then you're an entrepreneur and then you want to go back. What are the stories that you're telling yourself? Because words matter. They become matter. You're actually co-creating your own experience from the stories that you're choosing to believe. And this is a way for you to rewrite your own story. So if you're driving, obviously don't be doing this. You need to pause and come back to this. Be in a place where you're safe and you can relax for a few minutes and you can close your eyes. So obviously do this in a safe environment. I'm also going to be speaking as your voice, as you're listening, because we want to drop in some suggestions. And that's all it is. And you're like, oh, I can't be hypnotized. You're hypnotized all the time. It's meditation. It's very akin to meditation, biblical meditation. Anyway, when you're scrolling and you lose a track of time, you're in a hypnotic state. When you're binge watching Netflix, you're in a hypnotic state. You go into it all the time. Now we're going to do it on purpose so that way you can get what you want. All right. Just try it. Just try it. All right. I'm going to change the tone, the octave of my voice a little bit. I would like you to close your eyes and take a deep breath in, hold, release. Take a deep breath in, hold, release. One more time, a deep breath in, hold, release. Good. While your eyes are still closed, I would like you to try to look up in between your eyebrows. Don't strain. You might even feel some fluttering, and that's okay. You might feel nothing at all, and that's okay. It's still working. And as long as you can, continue to hold your eyes in that position. And if you no longer want to hold your eyes in that position, that's okay too. Continue to breathe in and release slowly. And even now, you can find yourself in a very, very relaxed state. And as you do, I would like you to imagine that you are going to one of your favorite places. Perhaps it's a beach or a park, somewhere where you live that just makes you feel safe, relaxed, peaceful. And as you're sitting in this place, reimagining there, I would like you to just enjoy that peacefulness, restfulness, and safety. And as you're listening to my voice, and my voice alone, it doesn't matter what's happening outside of you right now. This is your time and your turn. I will now speak and represent your voice. I command my subconscious, my heart, and the community of cells hearken unto my voice. You take direction from the voice of the mind. And right now, I want you to take direction only from the Christ mind within me. Subconscious, heart, and community of cells. I want you to execute the following. I am that. I am at the right place, at the right time, doing the right things, in the right order, with the right people. I am that. I am daily set up for success. I am that. I am living in Kara moments. That's God's divine appointments. And even now, this is a divine appointment. I want to know what my next step is in this journey called divine alignment, soul purpose, purpose of life. The answer is already within me. I have so much help, I have guidance from the Holy Spirit. I have Father's word on it. That when I commit my plans to Him, He establishes my thoughts. Thoughts are the foundation of everything. And I choose this new thought. I am in purpose. Awareness is grace. And grace is leading me to where I need to go. I don't need to know everything. It's okay. All I need is the next step. I bless my desires to be in alignment with every good and perfect thing that the Father of lights has provided for me. I desire those things. I am generous. I am kind. I am smart. I can figure things out. Light be into this area of my life. I am now receiving what I need to know. I receive the revelation, and maybe it comes as a aha moment, a picture in my mind, a song, or some other way. But I'm receiving this revelation now. With it, I receive understanding. All these are gifts from God. All these things are freely given to me. I get to participate in other people's miracles, in other people's great stories by co-creating with God. Whatever it is that He has planned, I say yes to that. I say yes to this call, to this push, to this drawing in. am excited. I know things are unfolding perfectly because God thinks good things toward me for an expected end of success. I choose to fulfill my purpose. That is my choice to make. And I don't need all the things, all the steps, just the next one. Clarity is coming. Clarity is here. Clarity is now. I receive this as done. Execute it now. As you're continuing to breathe, I'm going to count back from 5 to 1. When you come back, you'll be coming back in full awareness, energized, and excited over your life, knowing it's about to get better and better with each passing day. 5, 4, 3, rolling your shoulders back, sitting up. 2, starting to open your eyes, and 1. Coming back to full awareness. Did you fall asleep on me? It's okay. You're like, yeah, I fell asleep. I do these with people live. I don't have anything written. It's all whatever needs to be said comes out. And when I do these with my clients on one-to-one calls, they like sometimes you can see them, they're nodding off and they're falling asleep, but then wake up refreshed and ready to go. It doesn't have to be long. Now, normally I like to do these in the 1% solution, which is 1% of your day. So the guided meditation was about 1% of your day, actually less. And then the coaching and the training, because I needed to make sure to give you the foundation before we jumped in. So I do a lot of these things with my membership called the Society. Everything you need to know is down below. But if you want some high touch things, resources, group coaching calls, 24/7 coaching, which is available through the Society. And this is the best time for you to join us. I have guided meditations in there, EFTs, trainings, workshops, digital journals, like any kind of resource. You can Netflix your way, or you can take your time. And there's so many opportunities to talk to me and get some life coaching. And if this is of interest to you, that you want all the stuff, you like a vault kind of thing, or you just like, I just want to talk about one specific thing. Maybe it's just money, or it's having more clients. Then everything you need is actually in the Society. So check out the description, and I will see you next time. May God's riches and best be yours. Bye now.